Hi everybody. I wanted to make this video because the semester is coming to a close and I wanted to give you all of the information that was necessary for the last week where you have finals. So I will write all of this information up in an announcement and I will send it out in an email. But I thought for those of you who thought it would be easier to listen, then you can get all of the information through this video. So first of all, your final is going to be on Tuesday, December 15th. I will post it at 9 a.m. and it will be due by 10 p.m. So I'm giving you a little bit of extra time. If this date is not good for you for some reason, okay, maybe you work, maybe you have 10 other finals on that day, then you need to email me ASAP so that I know ahead of time. The final is going to work in exactly the same way as all of your other quizzes. It will be available for that whole time. You will submit it through Blackboard the same way that you've submitted everything else through Blackboard. The difference is that all of the videos are going to be available to you. Just keep in mind, you can't watch all of the videos on the day of the final. It's too much. So you can use the videos to quickly refer back to if there's something that you're having trouble with, but you can't expect to watch them all. Okay. Second thing is it will cover the material from the whole semester. There will be an emphasis on the second half and an even greater emphasis on trigonometry since you did not receive a quiz on trigonometry other than the mini quizzes. Okay, all of the final review sheets have been posted. So in order to find the final review sheets, you're going to go over to the left side where you have all of your menus. You're going to page down and you will see this new section called Final Exam Materials. If you go into Math 206.5 Final Exam Materials, you just click on that, you're going to see all of this posted. So there is a lot of review here. The first thing is just a brief review of all of the Math 206 topics because that's what we emphasize on the final. And it doesn't include any problems. It just includes just like a very, very quick review of everything that we've covered. In addition to that, you're going to see two sets of review sheets. So you can see I posted them as a Word document and as a PDF file. These are just lots of different problems, and then right underneath that you see the solutions to both the Part 1 review sheet and the Part 2. Finally, under here you're going to see a departmental final exam review, and this is what the department created. You'll see it says Fall 2019, and then underneath that there are review problems that have videos attached to them. So these are all things that are really good for you in terms of reviewing all of the material. And you could see that there's some extra problems here that you can also look at. I would emphasize the 206.5 final review sheets and solutions that you see here. These are going to be the most like what you see on the final. And again, the final questions are going to look very similar to what you've seen on all of your other quizzes. Okay, this is for Math 206.5. Now, if you are somebody who is struggling in this class and you're not sure if you're going to pass or fail, and I'll talk about that in a second, then something else that you're going to want to look at are the review sheets for Math 56. Okay, so Math 56 review sheets you'll see in the same place, Final Exam Reviews. And you'll see again a brief review of all of the Math 56 topics. And then you'll see reviews for that exam. So these up here in green are just typical review sheets, okay? And then the solution. Then underneath that, you're going to see a 6-part sample final. So in other words, there are 6 questions. It looks just like what the Math 56 test will look like. The Math 56 test is taken through Blackboard. It is timed, and this gives you some idea as to what it's going to look like. Okay, it's called a 6-part sample because there are only 6 questions, one of which it just tells you how to upload your work, with which all of you are familiar with because you've done this before. Okay. Here, this is a place where you can upload your work for the sample final. Okay, and then these are solutions. So I won't be grading it. If you want me to look at it, then you'll have to just send me an email and say, can you please look at this? I looked at the solutions, excuse me, and it didn't make sense. Okay, then you'll see all of these final exam trials. Each of these trial final exams just covers different material. Again, specific to Math 56. Math 206.5 covers Math 56 and then plus Math 206. So this is just the first part of the class. Essentially what it is it's every topic that we covered, but it stops at some point. So there are no exponential equations. There are not really any logarithmic equations. Trigonometry, it's just right triangle trigonometry and maybe some exact values. That's it. So you'll see 4 parts to this. And then down at the bottom, you'll see a final review sheet that I created in the past, and then also solutions to that. And finally, a Math 56 departmental final exam review. And then there are videos that go and have solutions to those problems. So this is a great resource. So it's a lot of materials. I suggest that you look through all of the different materials and just see what's available and what you feel is going to be helpful to you. Okay, I would definitely start studying now. So a couple of extra pieces of information. The way that this class works is that you need to pass Math 206.5 with an overall grade of a 70. Now what that means is you may be able to get less than a 70 on the final and still pass the class. If you've been getting A's all throughout this class, you may only need a 20 on the final in order to pass the class. Okay, so I will give you an idea as to what you need, but all you need is a 70 for the overall grade. If you get below a 70, then you have failed Math 206.5, and at that point, you will take the Math 56 final. So you only have to take the Math 56 final if you failed Math 206.5. How will you know if you failed? Well, you're going to take the 206.5 final on Tuesday, December 15th. I will email you by Wednesday, okay? Hopefully early Wednesday. And I will let you know that unfortunately you didn't pass the class and you will have to take the Math 56 final. If you don't hear from me before Wednesday evening, then it's likely that you passed, okay? But you can always send me an email and ask. Now, if you fall into the category of having failed, then what you'll do is you'll take the Math 56 final on Friday, December 18th. Okay, now here's what that means. Friday, December 18th, the final will be available to you throughout the day. Okay, so maybe it'll be posted at 10. You can hand it in up until 8 o'clock, which means that you could start it any time between 10 and 8. But you only get 2 hours to take the final. Now, this is a departmental final, so it's different. You get 2 hours to take the final. It is 20 questions. You do all of your work on a separate piece of paper. You find the final on Blackboard. You do all of your work on a separate piece of paper, and then you upload it, okay? And it will be graded, and you'll know from there if you passed Math 56. And anybody who falls into that category, I will make sure that you understand exactly how it works. In the next week, okay, probably in the next couple of days, every single person in the class will receive a private email from me. And in that email, it will say, in order to pass Math 206.5, you need this grade on the final. Maybe it's a 20, maybe it's a 70, maybe it's a 90, okay? And it's saying, if you get a 90 on the final, you will pass Math 206.5. It gives you a better idea as to where you are in the class. So you should expect to receive that email from me no later than the weekend, but hopefully within the next few days. When you receive that email, you need to understand that there are still things that you can do to raise your grade. Obviously, hand in the project. Okay, you have a project due next Friday. This is assuming that you have not handed in the project. Second thing that you can do is if you have any missed work, start making it up. Make up the problem sets. It's good review for the final, so it's a good thing to do. You will get some points off for it being late unless you're somebody who falls into one of the extenuating circumstances categories. But handing an assignment late is better than not handing it in at all. Okay, a lot of you have not been participating in the discussions or the blogs. That's 10% of your grade. If you submit to that, then you could be making up a lot of points. Okay, doing the project obviously will help you make up points. Doing the mini quizzes that you missed will help you make up points. If you've missed quizzes, then send me an email. I can send you a makeup quiz, but you should be making up work. Now, if you're somebody who you don't have much work to make up and you still are not doing well, I can give you some extra credit, okay? But I'd rather that you do something that really helps you study for the finals. But again, send me an email, okay? And finally, if you fall into the category of somebody who has had extenuating circumstances this semester, and please remember this is a very wide category, it's broad. Some of you have had to be hospitalized. That would fall into an extenuating circumstance. Some of you have had to take care of people who were sick. That would fall into an extenuating circumstance. Some of you I know already, most of you have been really good about emailing me, but if you have been really quiet and suffering in silence and you haven't responded to any of my emails, please email me now. If you fall into one of those categories, then you qualify for an incomplete. The purpose of the incomplete is to allow you more time to finish doing the work, okay? Without a late penalty, it gives you time to make up those problem sets. It gives you time to do the mini quizzes, to make up the other quizzes, the projects, anything that you've missed. It gives you the additional time. And you will have until March 15th to make up the course material, okay? And then you can get a grade. And you will also have the option of taking the Math 56 final if you still can't pass. Okay, so you have that option even if you take an incomplete. You should send me an email if you fall into this category or come to my office hours. My office hours are Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. or Tuesday from 3 to 5 p.m. Okay, so you have a little bit of time. Or make an appointment to speak with me. I am available. But when you send me an email and say, I want to talk to you about my grade, very simple, okay? It's fine. I'm expecting emails like that. So send me an email. If you don't know my email address, it's ejaffe@bmcc.cuny.edu, but it's right here under faculty information. It gives you my email. Okay, it also gives you the office hours, okay? And we could work out what to do, whether you should be taking an incomplete, whether you should be concentrating on the Math 56, but we will work out something so that it makes sense for you, okay? The only thing I will say about the incomplete is if you are taking a lot of classes and nothing in the winter, you want to make up all of the work in the winter. And if you are taking a lot of classes and classes in the winter, you need to be really disciplined, okay? There were several people who took incompletes last semester. They had from May until December, the end of December, to make up the work, and they just were never able to do it, okay? So just be realistic if you're thinking of taking an incomplete, but we could talk about that, and you could talk to your advisors about that as well, okay? So that's it for now. That's all of the information about the final. You do have one more week of classes. Okay, so this is week 15. You can see in week 15, you have 2 assignments that you have to do. So you have problem set 18 and you have a blog entry. You also have 5 videos this week. Next week, you will only have 2 videos, okay? And with the idea that I want you to study for the final with the remaining time. And then you will have 2 problem sets. And I'll give you a mini quiz, okay? I will not count that mini quiz, but I will give you a mini quiz so that you can use it to help you study for the final. Remember, these mini quizzes help you study, okay? And in fact, what I will do is I will make every single mini quiz available to you again, where you can go for a 3rd attempt if you want, and it will take the highest of your 3 attempts, okay? You can try one more time, see if you can get a higher grade, and I will make that your new quiz grade if you can. So if it's the highest, so that will be available to you, and it might be a really nice way for you to study for your final exam, okay? But next week you'll only have 2 videos. You'll have 2 problem sets, one of which is a group problem set. And that's it. The rest of the time you should study for your final. I will also have multiple synchronous sessions. Now, nobody's signing up for the synchronous sessions, which I understand you all have work. And I know that sometimes it's not an ideal time for you. But if there's a better time and you want to come to a synchronous session, again, just email me. Okay, I know that this is a long video and a lot to listen to, but unfortunately there's just so much information. So just keep all of this in mind, and everything is written in the announcement that says final exam information, so you don't have to keep watching the video. That's it.